Somebody's running a chainsaw in the background somewhere. Someone's getting a tree taken down. It's very common around here. A lot of the trees have gotten too big, but I wanted to show you the inside of this though. This is an Archer rotor box, and it's under the RCA name. It's under the GE name, and they're old. And these pieces go in here, and they sort of hold this from slipping. You turn it to where you want it, and this sort of grabs it after you turn it, and it lets there's an inner wheel that rotates to get to a point where it finds this notch, and then it stops. Now these pieces might have been plastic. Right now they have the consistency of beeswax. Now it's possible they were beeswax, okay, and their role is to grip this plastic. So you can turn it, it'll allow you to move it. Acts like a clutch, a slip clutch, okay? But I don't know. I don't have a new one to compare if this is beeswax or this is some type of Chinese plastic that when it gets older, it gets softer. And this is made in China. I bought an old unit thinking it would be made in Malaysia or someplace other than China. I did not want to buy a new China unit because they don't sell replacement gears for any of the new stuff. So you pay $130, and if one of the gears go, you have a $130 brick. Okay, so I bought this thing. Now you can see this gear here. There's another video on YouTube. He'll show you this exact same gear broken. I believe his is broken 3 pieces also. This almost feels like this. Okay, so whatever plastic they use, and epoxy won't even stick to this. It's like a non-stick surface. You put epoxy on here or any kind of glue, and after it dries, it just peels right off. All right, so this has been, I think this might be the biggest stud I ever got from eBay. I'm not sure. You know, I've gotten some junk from eBay, but this isn't eBay's fault. This isn't even the person's fault that put it up there. This isn't even China's fault. It's over 30 years old, and you could tell by the pictures it had been in service. Okay, but I'm showing you this because I want to warn you that if you buy one of these, go look at the other guy's video. If you buy one of these, the plastic ages. Okay, and it almost feels like beeswax, and you can tell it's changed color. So this was probably white originally, and then it just over age, it just aged, and it's I won't say Chinesium. That's what they make their wrenches out of, but it's actually, this might be cheesium. You know, it's like their gears are made out of some type of cheese. Okay, but you know, things 30 years old. But I specifically bought something that was old, so it would be possible to repair it. Okay, and unfortunately, yes, I can make gears, but not a gear that's got another gear on the top, and it's a very tiny gear on top. So it's a lot more work than the whole idea is worth. Okay, and this was just to get me another set of channels. They didn't put the station up in Harrisburg. They moved it over to the left a little bit on the map. So if you have a directional antenna and you aim it at Harrisburg, you get those stations. And you don't get the other station. But if you rotate your antenna just a few degrees, you get the station. And the station I can't get, because I can't rotate my antenna, is actually closer to me than the other stations are. This is the crap they pulled on me when they did a repack. If you've cut the cord, a repack, the FCC decided to sell more frequencies to people that aren't going to use them, and they packed the channels and they changed their frequencies, and you know, it still has the same station number. Go watch the videos, they explain that. In other words, 27 is still 27, but it might be on UHF or it might be high VHF. So originally 27 was a low VHF, now it's a higher VHF, whatever. I couldn't get it with this giant antenna, which I was able to get it for five years. Then they did a repack, and one by one I lost my stations, and then I realized they repacked them. I put a good antenna up there with a juice antenna, a juice amplifier, and I'm able to get them. But some nights they cut in and out. And the station I'm trying to get, that's off to the left, has some of the same programming on it, and it's closer to me. Okay, so all I would have to do is turn the rotor, and it would turn, and I'd be able to receive the programming. But I probably could make this gear, but it might take a week of fission, and it's not worth it. I'm putting this all back in the original box. I'm gonna put it away for a while and think about it, And I'm not sure. Is this beeswax? Is it? I don't know. There's certain things I don't know. And this whole rotor thing, there are videos on them, and some guys are pretty sharp. I mean, this one guy actually figured out. I showed you this on one of the videos. This is a capacitor that's non-polarized, and it helps with the motor to make it all work. He figured out, well, I knew this, but not at this high voltage. You put two electrolytics backwards to each other, and it becomes a non-polarized, and you can run a motor. And he did it just to test the lower unit, which I showed you in the video. So you could probably do that. But there is information on these things. But, when you have a broken part, and, like a gear, it would be so much nicer to order something in a little plastic bag. You open the plastic bag, you pull the gear out, you lubricate stuff, you put it together and close it up, and you're done. Instead of having another rabbit hole, another project, I bought this. I said I'll work a little bit at a time, but I wasn't expecting a broken gear, or a broken gear that hard to make. And even like when you make a gear, you like to glue the original gear to a piece of material. Well, nothing sticks to this. Now maybe double sticky tape will. Like I said, I'll put it in the box and think about it. I put all the stuff away. I made a real mess working on this. Okay. And then I'll clean it all up and sit and think about it. And the whole project from the beginning was just to get like one or more channels that break up sometimes, and then I can get them on a frequency that doesn't break up, and because that station's closer, but it doesn't have the other channels that the other one's got. See, that's the problem with over-the-air television, and I'm between Philadelphia and Harrisburg, and probably Delaware of some sort. And I'm the same distance from all the transmitters. And 40-something miles is the limit. You start to get problems. And that's where I'm at on a lot of my stations. So on a real rainy, crappy night, some of my channels drop out on me. I think that's it. All right, that's it.